What would you think if you could pull one lever in your business, literally one lever in your agency today, that would literally change the metrics for the whole agency? I'm not just talking sales, I'm talking every metric you could possibly think of. Lead generation, opportunities, booked appointments, attended appointments, cost to acquire leads, close rate, reputation, time to close, partnership, referrals, upsell, retention. Literally, webinars is one of the one things that you can implement into your business that will transform it. This is where it's important, and this is where people get some concern. They think that a webinar is basically what we're doing right now. This means you're pumping up, you're doing a topic. It does not have to be like that. So we can do the same type of thing. And what we try to do is we try to have 3 specific types of webinar that we do. We look for a data-led one, so a techie one. We look for a informational one, and we look for a case study type. Depending on what you're selling, whether you've got one service, you can basically split the one service into key panes and do it on each one. Or if you've got 3 different services, so just say that you sell, you're promoting Google Business Profile, you're doing, I don't know, Facebook ads, and you're doing PPC, well, we want to talk about all 3, and we use the different topics for each 3. The most important thing for today is what I'm about to talk about. None of it is theory, okay? Everything I'm about to share, I am actively doing right now with an agency just like you. Many of you may have different questions and different issues or thoughts on this, but I'm going to show you today how you can do this for free with no audience.
For everybody else here, maybe you've seen Scott before, maybe you haven't. He has been a guest speaker with us before, back when he was with a different organization. But now Scott runs Done For You Closing and dfyclosing.com if you want to go check it out. And so for some of our partners, you guys absolutely use our sales support, right? We help you close deals and that sort of thing. Well, Scott takes it way further than just helping close deals. But if you're selling other services outside of that company, highly recommend you definitely check him out, look at him. But Scott, I'll let you surely share all the different things that you do. I know that today the focus is on how to use webinars as a front-end lead source, which I know our community is definitely interested in. I had several folks who are like, hey, I can't be there, but I want the recording. So I know there's a great amount of interest around this topic. Without further ado, Scott, the man of the hour, will you take it away?
Yeah, of course, sir. Appreciate the introduction. Thank you so much. Just first off, thank you everyone so much for attending. I really do appreciate it. I know how important time is, and I want to make sure that you get the value from today. So hopefully you do. So let's get in. I'm just going to share my screen and take you through what we're going to be doing basically right now. I'm just going to make sure that we got the right one. Here we go, and we're in. Today we're talking about webinars, and I'm going to talk about a bit about what I do in a little second, but I think it's really important that we talk about this in a bit more light. So I'm going to go in a different way. What would you think if you could pull one lever in your business, literally one lever in your agency today, that would literally change the metrics for the whole agency? I'm not just talking sales, I'm talking every metric you could possibly think of. Lead generation, opportunities, booked appointments, attended appointments, cost to acquire leads, close rate, reputation, time to close, partnerships, referrals, upsell, retention. Literally, webinars is one of the one things that you can implement into your business that will transform it, not overnight, because it isn't an overnight thing, but within a month. Now, many of you may have different questions and different issues or thoughts on this, but I'm going to show you today how you can do this for free with no audience. So this isn't about being I don't know, Alex Hormozy. This isn't about being a Josh Nelson. Okay. We don't need to have that type of reputation to get started with webinars and to make it really, really successful for us. So, who am I? So, just to make you aware, Dyke's done a really good introduction for me, but for sort of best part of a decade or just under a decade now, I've been working with agencies across the world, mainly in the US. I've been the head of sales for multiple bootstrap marketing businesses and have had the fortunate experience of going through multiple seven-figure exits for those agencies. In April last year, I focused on my own thing, which is DFY Closing, and we are a bespoke RevOps specifically focused on MarTech and agencies in particular. We work with a handful of clients and we manage absolutely everything within their sales funnel for them. Over the last sort of few months, one of the key things that I would like to let you know is that one of our clients within that short period of time has hit the seven figures for the first time in their 14 years within a matter of months of working with us, and is on track to double that in 2026. But forget about all of that. I think the most important thing for today is what I'm about to talk about. None of it is theory. Okay, everything I'm about to share, I am actively doing right now with an agency just like you. It is all repeatable. Okay, it's all something that you can do within your agency today. So let's talk a bit of experience here. I'm hoping everyone on here recognize at least one person, but I would probably assume that we're probably closer to 90 to 100% of the people on here. Would I just get some agreements and smiles? Everybody know people on here? Yeah, okay, fantastic. Okay, so let's just talk about this. Just put your thumb up if you've met everybody here. So you've been in a room with every single person on here? No. Okay, what happens if you've met maybe 5 or 10% of them? Okay. Maybe, yeah, maybe about that mark. Okay. But every single one of us could probably read off each one of these people's names. Okay. Now, the reason for that is for what we're about to talk about today. They do what we're talking about today every single day. They sell through webinar, they sell through presentation. And it's something that we should be now inputting into our agencies moving forward. So, how do we do this? What does this look like? The biggest question on this is really, really simple, and it is, where do I start? Now, I've tried to keep this really, really high level because we could go into so much granular detail, but I want to talk about the 4-step process that we train to our agencies and we talk to our agencies about. And then I specifically want to focus on the promote, because this is something that people don't talk about. It's something that people sort of push under and hide away. So the 4 steps that we've got are known as the 4 Ps. So we've got plan, promote, present, and pursue. And I'm sure that every single one of you can see those and know exactly what they mean within your business and within your agency. So the way that I like to do this is, if anybody spends time with me, I want you to get value from it. So if you're watching this live now, or you're joining me here live now, or you're watching this on a recording, the next sort of 30 minutes or so that we're going to go through, I want you to get outcome out of this. I want you to do something. So they're just listening to me. By the end of this 30 minutes, hopefully we'll have planned and we've started to put a presentation in the works. So let's really just start with planning. Now, when we work with our agencies, we work on a sort of a weekly and a monthly consultancy. We talk about deep dives, but the biggest deep dive we do is a quarterly deep dive. We want to understand their goals and we want to understand where they are now and where they want to be. Quite weird. None of this is surprising because this is what we do for our clients every single day. Okay, so what we do when we bring a client on, we're talking about these types of things and we're talking about this growth, and we want to do exactly the same for you. So the way that we do our planning is in 3 steps. So if you've got a pen and piece of paper with you, or you've used your phone or whatever you use for notes, let's just put this together and let's plan your first presentation and how you do it. So the first way that we look at it is we look at a quarterly topic. So we want to have a topic that we can talk about to our audience for the full 3 months. Okay, so we're coming into Q2. We're not quite yet, but we're not far away from Q2. So we're coming into Q2. We'd have that meeting. We'll have that plan and prep. So what we want to talk about is we want to have a topic that is relevant to our market and audience, but is also something that is highly searched and of interest. So a key one that most of us are likely going through, regardless of the niche that we're in, and I'll talk about this in a little second, is things like AI and automations. Okay, lots of people are talking about AI and automations, and I'm sure if you've got clients, regardless of the niche or niche that you're working within, that is something that's coming up. That's a great topic to have as a major topic that you can highlight and bring to your audience within the space. And just so you're aware, let's just find out in here. I don't know if I can see chat in, but is anybody niche specific or non-niche specific? Can anyone tell me the niches they're in or the niche that they work with? Is anybody niche specific? I'll just pull up the chat on the right-hand side, I think, and just see. Feel free to chat and open away and talk if you want to, guys. Happy for anyone to come in and say what they need to do. Okay, I just seen that, Mike. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Pull the lever, Grunk.
Yeah. Brilliant. So we've got health and wellness. Fantastic niche for this type of thing, Jimmy. Are you actually doing well? Are you doing any webinars, Jimmy? So that would just be interesting. Agencies, naturally, obviously, Mike, we do this all the time, so I can help you with that, definitely. Okay, so what we're looking for here is that anybody that's not niche specific. Okay, we talk about, we're not going to talk about the benefits of being niche specific or anything like that at the moment. I just want to know if anybody's not niche specific. Okay, medical, fantastic. So what we want to do is we now want to make, okay, my specialty, what's my specialty? AI, fantastic. Well, that's good. I've actually got an AI client. So we do this for them and they specifically do on AI. So what we want to do is we want to pick a quarterly topic, and it has to be focused. It has to be focused on something that our clients care about. Now, if I put this into context, we talk about AI for one of our clients, and their niche is funerals. So if you think these topics can't be relevant and you can't bring them in, you are mistaken. Like, these webinars will pull people in from different markets and different areas. So the first thing we want to do is think of our topic, our topic for our quarter. Now, everything we're going to do in that quarter is related to that topic. So when we're doing marketing content, when we're doing our information out, everything is relating to that specific topic. Now, guys, we won't talk about this today, but your marketing content will be pulled from your webinar. So we'll take your webinar. What you'll do is you'll take your webinar, you'll create it into shorts using software, and then that's your marketing content for the next 2 months. So you literally feast off of this forever once you've got it in place. Then what you want to do is you want to focus on, once you've got your topic, okay, what you want to do then is you want to focus on your 3 webinars. Now, this is where it's important, and this is where people get some concern. They think that a webinar is basically what we're doing right now. This means you're pumping up, you're doing a topic. It does not have to be like that. The most successful book launch ever was a webinar. Like, if anybody watched Alex Hormozi, where he did all this 24-hour thing, and it was like, look, it's the most successful book launch ever, and blah, blah, blah. It was not a book launch, it was a webinar. So we can do the same type of thing. And what we try to do is we try to have 3 specific types of webinar that we do. We look for a data-led one, so a techie one. We look for a informational one, and we look for a case study type. Okay, so the way that we do this is we just rewrap a webinar as it normally stands. So our first webinar would be a general presentation where we would talk about AI. We would talk about a specific problem that market may find. So you would pick your niche, choose your niche. Obviously, you're in your niche. And then you would focus on a topic that relates to that. So if we look at some of the ones we've got in here, we've obviously got health and wellness. So again, depending on what areas of we are, okay, we could talk about AI and the benefits to health and wellness, or how it improves X, or how it hinders why. Okay, so we can look at those things and use that as a lead generation source. We want to be thinking that our titles need to be catchy, because we're going to use this to promote our content in the future. And I'm going to we're going to spend more time on our promotion in a little second. We're going to deep dive into the promotion element, but we want to have our 3 webinars. Now, one of the things that we recommend that you do for a webinar is you've got your webinar that is like this. Then what we would recommend is the second one would be something like a workshop. It is the same as a webinar, but potentially what you do is you just break off into groups. Okay. The third would be a case study where you would bring somebody on to present for you. So this is like what Mike's doing right now. I come in and I can present, or me and Mike could have a back and forth conversation about something. This can be with existing clients. This can be with partners and referral partners. Okay. This can be with other agencies, lots of different things that you can have. Think of it like a podcast style webinar. Those are the 3 webinars that you want to be looking at: general webinar, workshop type webinar, and like an interview style webinar. Now, the beauty of this is it allows you to leverage everything within your team. So depending on how you do things and where you sit, one of our clients in particular, one of the clients that we work, is massive introvert. He does not like presenting. He really does not like presenting. Okay, so if that's you, that's fine. You play to your strengths within the webinar. You either bring somebody else in on your team, you look at it as a presenting point, you bring somebody else in to do the webinar for you like this, and we promote to it. Okay, but hopefully that gives you a bit of context on it. We're going to look at 1 quarter, 1 topic, 3 webinars, and we're going to run 1 a month. Everybody okay with that? Just put thumbs up in the chat if everybody's okay and understands the first part. Thanks, Devon. Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So now we've done the planning stage. Now we've got that in. We want to do the promotion. Now, promotion is key. And I'm going to show you, and I'm going to talk about very high level here. I'm going to talk about ways that we promote, regardless of your list size. So I just want to ask, in here, does anybody have a list? Do they have a list of prospects that they've got, or people that they've engaged over the years that's maybe 1,000 plus? Just put a plus in there if it is. If you've not, don't worry, don't put anything in, don't feel like you've got to. I just want to understand where we're at on, do we have lists or not? So first off, if you do have a list, do you mean you've got a list of, I don't know, plumbers or solar companies, funeral homes, whatever it is, okay? The first people we're going to promote to is our list. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to talk about, and the first place we're going to promote to. Now, that's easy. Okay, really, really easy. If you're doing that, if you've got a list of 1,000 people or something, you can promote to that list. You will be surprised at how many people were engaged and come through it. If you do not have a list, though, you can use your webinar as a lead source. And I'm going to talk about 3 ways that you can do this. And 2 of them are free. Okay, 1 of them would be paid for. Okay, so there are 3 ways to promote a webinar really, really easily. Okay, so first would be LinkedIn. I'm not sure if anybody uses LinkedIn. I'm not sure how many people promote on LinkedIn. Just put a thumb up if you do marketing on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is a fantastic resource for to be able to promote a webinar. Why? You can promote it for free. When people sign up, you instantly get their email addresses. Okay, you can use automations to DM this out to existing lists. So if you've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people connected to, okay, whatever that size is, you can message those people using fairly cheap softwares to do an automation out as just a DM to existing people to promote your webinar. Okay, it works like gangbusters. It works really, really well. It works so well, we actually do what we call the webinar that doesn't matter through LinkedIn. Okay, so what is the webinar that doesn't matter? So the webinar that doesn't matter is basically we come up with our title and our topic, we promote it to somebody. So Devon, apologies, you're engaging, so I'm picking on you. So we go to Devon and we promote, we message Devon, we send a message through to him, we send him to the webinar, he signs it up and registers for the webinar. And then what we do is we go, hey, Devon, I can see that you've actually registered for the webinar with Mike. I just wondered, it looks like we've got a one-to-one slot with Marty. Would you like to jump on quickly one-to-one with Marty and then get all your questions answered one-to-one? No, sorry, yeah, he's on holiday. Yeah. So you can use it as a webinar, doesn't matter, and you can use it as a lead source. Okay, you can use it as a lead source to bring in leads and to convert them through. LinkedIn is really, really good for this, and LinkedIn actually actively promotes you because they want you running like live streams and live webinars and stuff through their system. You don't have to do all of that, but when you create it in there, it allows you to capture all the information. Okay, so if you're looking at LinkedIn, I'm going to give you some quick tips on it. And so how you can get started really, really quickly. Just get your pen and piece of paper out so you can take notes if you're new to LinkedIn. None of this is paid for. You do not need LinkedIn Premium at all. Okay, so you can do it all for free. So what you're going to do is you're going to conduct what we call a Boolean search on LinkedIn. Not sure what it is? Google it. It will show you how to do it. You're going to do is run those searches on LinkedIn. Find your ideal clients. So you're going to go niche, job title, okay, whatever it would be. So it'd be from there, you pull them through. Again, you'd be surprised at who you find on LinkedIn. We work with some very bespoke niches, and you will be surprised who you find them on there. Actually, you'll find that those that you do find on LinkedIn are probably more engaged and more likely to convert because they're more business focused from our experience. Okay, so you want to do your search on there. If you're not already connected with them, you want to send your connection requests and you want to connect with those people. You're looking around about 20 people a day. Once you've got your list up, once you've got people in, you're going to then go to first connections, which is everybody that you've already connected to, and you are going to automate a message to them promoting your LinkedIn webinar. Just promoting your webinar. I'm going to skip the middle one for the moment because I'm going to talk about email in a second. I'm going to go into detail on what email is because it's a bit of a different way of doing it. The third one we got here is Meta. Okay, so I've put Meta, but it doesn't really matter. It can be any form of advertising. And we actually do this with what we call a self-liquidating offer. So I'm not sure if many of you are familiar with a self-liquidating offer, but the way that we do and promote our webinars through a self-liquidating offer is basically you've got a lead magnet or a front-end product that you charge very little for, but it's basically the cost to acquire that lead. Okay, so you have a really powerful lead magnet that you're going through, that you send through, and then you push them to the webinar off the back end. So one thing that works really, really well right now, I'm going to pick on Devon because, again, he said something, is an automation. Giving somebody access to an automation that you've built that they could get to, and then you're going to walk through it on the webinar. Okay, or you're going to talk them through it on the webinar, something like that. They pay £5, $10, whatever it would be to acquire that automation, that snapshot, that frame. Okay, and then off the back of it, you push to a webinar. It's a bit more advanced, and it's generally something that we roll out with our clients after about two quarters of successfully doing the other messages. Okay. The middle one in here is email, and it is a bit of a roundabout way on doing this. Okay, I don't know if it's technically black hat. I don't think it is, but what we've got to think about here is how we're promoting this, and the way we're going to be doing it is through cold email. Okay, so the way that we do this is we actually do it through a a newsletter. So most people will send cold email out now, and it will go to your junk mail and have a little look. It will be trash. It will be sales. It will be selling. Okay. What we want to do is we want to flip that on its head. We are going to use a newsletter to promote our webinar and to promote as a lead gen source. So the way that we do this and the way that we work with this is we create our industry specific newsletter. Now, for the ones that we're sending out cold to people, what we do is we have 6 in a series that are specific to a problem. So they are the best newsletters you'll ever write. So 1 to 6, we have our newsletters, and then we've got our monthly newsletter that we just do as always. Okay, so the team will do that. So the way that we generally handle this, our agencies will generally just do their general marketing newsletter, and that's what it is. From a sales perspective, the first 6 we will craft. And these are the most sticky, most amazing newsletters that when somebody receives it, they see that they've been subscribed to this newsletter, they see they've got access to it, they can't help but want to read it and get it. Again, we're filling this full of value and lead magnets and free giveaways and like lots of really valuable stuff that niche or that market can't help but ignore. When we're doing that, we are including our webinars within the newsletter. So within the newsletter is a part of what we're doing. We're talking about the topic and we're including that newsletter, that webinar in there. Now, this is getting us great traction. If I put it into context, one of our clients added 100 new leads last month alone through this method. So 100 cold prospects to the webinar. They put 100 cold prospects to the webinar through this method alone. At the moment, the sales calls have not been completed, but off that sales webinar, we have booked 10 appointments. So that is basically, I think we sent it to 1,400 people. So you see the numbers off of this of what we're doing and the numbers in here. Now, I can't talk about sales off of that at the moment because I think at the moment we're still in process for sales, but I think the webinar literally only happened 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. So we're still going through process for some of them. So I think we've got 3 sales at the moment, but it's just worth being aware of where this is and how simple it can be, how really, really simple it can be. And that list was pulled and optimized like you would for any cold email. So anybody who's not familiar with cold email, you like pull the list, clean the list, and then just send the emails out. And again, for anybody aware, we didn't use any fancy software. This was all sent through Go High Level. So again, nothing special, nothing over the top here. You could do the same through MailChimp, but we are and we have been surprised with the results from this across multiple clients on the way that we're doing it. Any questions on any of that at the moment? Okay. Hopefully that gives you 3 really simple strategies on how you do it. At the moment, I'm trying to go really high level just so we can go in. If we like this and we think it's valuable, maybe in a few months we can deep dive on one and I can show you the exact process on how we build these out and we go into a specific section on it. But at the moment, I just want to give you some ideas. I'm basically just trying to encourage you to look at webinars as a resource and be using them because they're so valuable. It's changed our clients' numbers throughout, and I'll talk about the clients' numbers that we've been getting at them a little bit later. So once we promoted it, the key thing after that is presenting our webinar. And there is only one thing that matters on that webinar, okay, when we present it, and that's a clear call to action. It is uncommon how many people on a webinar forget to ask for the sale, forget to ask for the appointment, forget to ask for the meeting. So my recommendation is just make sure that you've got a clear call to action. And how do you do this? 50% through the webinar. If you're first getting started out, 50% through the webinar, twice at the end. Once before the Q&A, once after the Q&A. Okay. Now, that's where you will instantly start with your call to actions. So it would be schedule a call with Scott, whatever it would be. Okay. You're wanting the 50%. After that, what you're going to be looking at is you're going to be looking at your metrics and your view rates. So if you're using something like Zoom, You don't have to use Zoom Webinar. One of our clients, we use YouTube for them, and they promote their webinar through YouTube. It's free, so you don't have to use Zoom. But if you are using a software like Zoom, you can see watch rate, where people get to, how far the people are engaged. Based off of that, that is where you choose where your CTAs go. If you've got a high watch rate and it drops off quite quickly, you want to put your call to actions sooner, okay? If you get good engagement, you get more people show up towards the end, go later to appointments, you put your call to actions a little bit later. But if you're brand new and have never done this before, use the data that I've got, which is 50% twice at the end, before the Q&A, after the Q&A, okay? Good thing when it comes to your presenting in webinar, I'll give you a couple of quick tips for anybody that's not done these or do these. Always really good to add your own questions at the end. So have your own questions for you and the team. Make them up, but make them industry specific or niche specific. So if you don't get the engagement you want, or if you don't get the show up rate you want, you're using that hour as a content creation hour. And I'll talk about this right now. So what we do is we fill the back end, maybe the first 10 minutes, with questions that are key. They use ChatGPT now, but answer the public type stuff. What's going on with the SEO? Those types of. What you're going to be doing is asking the question and answer it. So you ask the question as if somebody's asked it to you from the audience, and you answer it with yours. Why? Because once that webinar's completed, we're going to snippet it. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to promote it on LinkedIn. We're going to promote it on Facebook. We're going to promote it everywhere else. Why? Because we've got 3 webinars in a quarter. We've got 1 topic. We've already done our first. We've now just created all the content for the rest of that quarter. Okay, and we basically just recycle this and use it. We can then go back to Devon, go back into his LinkedIn and just go, hey, Devon didn't turn up to the webinar. He didn't show up to Marty. Hey, Devon, I'm sorry you got this. We thought this question might be useful for you. Okay, we thought this, but this question came up. Mike answered this question. I thought it might be helpful for you where you're at in your business. I've seen you talking about this on LinkedIn. I thought this would be good on Facebook. Whatever it would be, you can start to use that to promote it in different places. Best part of this, you've done nothing additional. You've not had to block out an hour and a day to do some promoting and get your video set up and do all of this type of thing. You've just done your normal webinar. You've been in your own experience. You've been on your own thing. You've just been able to recycle that content throughout. Does that help with that part so far, guys? Everybody good with that? Everybody okay with the present? So the last part is the most important. And this is pursue. Okay. Every part of our sales journey, every part of what we do is making sure that we engage with people after. Now, this is actually one of the best and the easiest parts. And the reason for this is everybody will be messaging you saying, can I have the recording? Can I have the recording? 100%. Everybody that's ever done a webinar will know this. So what you do is you basically just present the webinar again and again. Like you just basically push it back up to them and you use it over a sequence. Generally speaking, we do this over 4 to 5 days. We send this sequence out we handle this sequence out and we're basically just going, hey, here's the recording, here's this, here's that. Now, a couple of quick tips on this. Depending on the niche you're in, it is sometimes good to have a removing from sort of countdown timer. Okay, hey, only having this public for a certain period of time. Now, not every niche that works for. So the way that we change that up is, if that is the case, is we give exclusivity to those that attended. So the way that we change it up is, instead of going, hey, this is going after a certain period of time, we go, hey, you've attended this, you've got exclusivity to see this webinar, and we've only got X number of spots before we open this up to our whole list. Okay, before we advertise this on our mailing list, before we do X, Y, and Z, make sure you book into the calendar. Now, if you are doing this, create real urgency, it is pointless adding it to a calendar that is open 7 days a week with 1,000 availability. So, because everyone just looks at it and goes, fake. Okay, so just make that availability right so that people can see it. And you're going to be pushing it through to your normal sales function, whatever that would be, whether that's through to a salesperson on a call, or whether it's a buy now button, whatever it would be through your normal measures. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that gives everybody a very, very high level view on webinars, why they're good and why you should be doing it. For me, it is possibly the most valuable thing that we've been doing for our clients. It's a part of what we're doing as a part of our lead gen. From experience across the board, I'll tell you what we're getting. We're getting about 15 client booked calls a month off of our webinars. Our show rates are about 80 to 90%. We're getting very, very good show rates on our webinars across the board for our clients, across the board. So it's just very clear, and they're all very weird and wonderful niches. Okay, everything that you would expect, and probably some of them you wouldn't. So we're getting really, really good show rates. Key things to note: one of our clients in particular, it took us 6 months, just less than 6 months, to get them to do their first webinar. They did their first webinar. We did 3. We got 100% close rates from their webinars. Okay. And the reason for this is it adds the value. It's the sales are one element of it. Okay. The rest of it is brand awareness, positioning, authority, all of these things that make it much better. I promise you, if you do this in your agency, it will improve the numbers throughout. Everything that you push through to that company for a sales call will improve. No questions. Okay. You will get people booking you and booking to come to you. Okay. Everything improves. There is a reason that all those gentlemen on that on the picture run webinars. Okay. There is a reason they do it. Now we can do exactly the same, but we just need to do it within our micro niches, within our communities. We don't need to be a huge authority across the internet. We just need to be respected within our chosen niches and the areas that we work within. And a webinar is a fantastic way of doing that. Oh, got a little bit of time now, guys. If you've got any questions or anything you want to dive deeper into, anything you want to understand a bit more, please just let me know. I'm happy to answer anything for you and just give you a bit more insight.
Jimmy, go ahead. Get your hand up. Thank you, Scott. This is awesome, man.
Yeah.
No problem.
As always.
Thank you, Scott. That was wonderful, man. I appreciate that. Now, the only issue I'm having right now, I don't use LinkedIn. Can you elaborate more on what do you have to do in LinkedIn so I could start getting leads? Because I'm not familiar with LinkedIn. I know about LinkedIn, but I don't use it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that you'll need to do on LinkedIn, Jimmy, is build authority. So there's 2 ways of building authority on LinkedIn. The first is creating an account and getting up to 500 followers as such, or 500 connections. Once you've got 500 connections, it basically stops counting after 500, so your authority is lived there. One of the key things to note, and I'll go into this in more detail, but one of the key things to note with LinkedIn has actually made one specific change that's really, really valuable, which is allowing you to link your ID or your ID to your profile. Now, the reason this is really good is it basically gives you a blue tick to say you are the person that they say you are. Now, that alone actually means that you don't have to really get that many followers. So you don't have to go to that followers. So what you could do is you could get your LinkedIn. Once you've got your LinkedIn, connect your ID. And basically it's like a photo. It just says, yes, that is me. Give you a tick. Fantastic. It knows it's not a fake account. That will give you the authority. And then what I would do personally is I would look at some automations in place. And you can look at lots of different things. If you look at lots of different LinkedIn automations out there that allow you to do sort of connection requests and messaging. The first thing you would need to do, Jimmy, because it would be a bit of a slower burn for you, would be the connections. So go to LinkedIn. Once you've created your LinkedIn account, you're going to go across to the top and you're going to conduct what we call a Boolean search. Just Google it. It'll show you exactly what it is, but just do that search. That will give you a list. Once you've got that list, you'll copy the URL, generally speaking. And by copying that URL, you'll be able to automate your connections. Okay. There's lots of things that you can do. There's lots of different softwares that you can use and look at. But that's the first thing you'd want to be looking at, is making sure that you've got those connections. If that's something you don't want to do and you don't want to use the automation side of it, one of the other ways is jumping on 15-20 minutes every morning, having that search in place and just connecting with those people that come through. And from my experience of running a lot of LinkedIn connections, one of the recommendations is do not message people. leave your LinkedIn message blank. So when you connect with somebody, just leave it blank. Don't message them saying, hey Marty, would love to connect with you, I can see that we've got synergies, or whatever it would be that people see. It's like all of this, so we're in the same space and I feel like we can. Don't worry about that. Just as long as you've got a good authority on your name, and just start connecting. The first part for yourself, Jimmy, would be that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problems, buddy.
Devin asked, have you seen the data to see how many people show up on average?
Yeah, I have. So we've got really good show rates, Devin. Actually, surprisingly so. I've been surprised at this. So just to give a bit of context, before I moved into space of doing things on my own, I worked with a number of marketing agencies that run webinars. The whole 7 figures that all the businesses that we built and exited were basically publicized through marketing through webinars. And the numbers that we're getting at the moment are better than what we were getting in the marketing agencies within these authorities. So if I can, bear with me 2 seconds, I will bring up I won't be able to show it because I'll have client data, but I'll show you the exact reports that we're getting. So we've just finished a webinar for one client. Their open rate on their emails was 35%. I'm just going to bring up a client's data now. It's not on the screen, so it's fine. And I'll just show you what their tracker shows. So this client that we've just run an event for. So first webinar that we ran for them was so this just shows you the list that we sent this to. So the first webinar that we sent this to, we got 1,000 people we sent an emails to. We got 132 visited the landing page. So this was sent through to landing page. 34 of those signed up to the webinar. 18 attended the webinar. 5 booked a sales call. All 5 closed. So that shows you from that one. The next one, we sent the list to 1,381. We got 78 signups. So this is the next month. So our list, basically, we added about 400 to our list. We got 78 signups. We got 54 attended live. We got 4 people. So the sales calls dropped. We got 4 people booked onto the sales calls, and from those 4 we closed 2. We've closed 2 of those. So that shows from this one. Next one, just so you're aware, next month, so we just run these each month, the same as the process. Next month we jump from 1,381 to 1,412, so 1,412 people. We got 98 people book, 98 people book. 71 of those showed. From that we got 10 sales, and those are we've got 10 people booked, and those sales are still in progress at the moment, but we've got four sales at the moment. The other 5 are still active. What's this one? That's not one that we ran. And then we've just got one now, which we've not got the numbers on, but we got the number was lower on this one, to be honest. I can tell you why. But for this one, we sent to 1,500, so we've added another 80. We got 40 people, 42 people register, 30 show. Okay, I know why that is. We changed the webinar topic, just so you're aware. But consistently, the numbers are around there. Hopefully, that gives you a bit of an insight from it. So attendance rate was 52%, 69%, 82%, and 66%. That's obviously that's the last 4 months and the 4 webinars from that. So hopefully that gives a bit of insight, Devon, from you, for you. And again, similar niches. So really, really good attendance rate from those people that have booked on and wanted to show. And again, that's just about making sure we've got the right topics and the right relevance on those topics. But yeah, hopefully that helps, Devon.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, man. So quick question. You mentioned the lists. Are you typically, so all of these individuals that you mentioned are from who you work with, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
All right. So is this based off of all email, LinkedIn mix, or are you just kind of, it's just a hodgepodge?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So it depends on the client. So some of the clients are different. So the client that we're talking about here, the client that we've got through the numbers, that is just email. So we've not done any LinkedIn. We are starting LinkedIn next webinar. So we're starting the LinkedIn basically promotion for them next month. So we've done email from them. So for them, it is their current list and cold email. So there's additional cold email. So that's how we've been adding this sort of about 500 people over the last 5 months approximately to their list. So they started with about 1,000. We've now gone up to about 1,500.
Cool. Thanks, man.
No worries.
What I love about you, Scott, is you know your data.
Know my data. Right? Yes, they've got it all here.
If you don't know your data.
No, yeah, no, exactly right. Yeah, for us, it's all about tracking that. It's all about understanding the numbers. Like, I'll be completely honest, guys. Like, it's probably one of the best things we've done for our clients. It is by far one of the things that's pushing. For one of the things that we don't do. So, DFY closing as a business, our goal is RevOps. Lead comes in, we'll handle it till close deal. That's what we do. That's our sales message. That's how we work. Okay. What we're now doing and what we're now seeing is we are increasing the leads. So we're generating about 100 new leads for each of our clients each month, approximately, depends on the clients. And from here, we're booking about 14 appointments every month. So we're actually doing lead gen for our clients. And it's never a part of what we're doing now. Like, was never a part of the deal. Like, you bring us the leads, we'll close them. You focus on that, we'll do our thing. But this is something that we've just naturally been able to do and add in for our clients across the board.
So what is the company name? Sorry.
So our company's DFY Closing. So DFY done for you closing. DFYclosing.com. So you can go to there and see what we do. Yeah, RevOps, full outsource sales, RevOps stuff.
Cool.
And I'll throw it into the chat for everybody as well for ease.
Thanks,
there you
Mike.
go.
So, as everyone always does, what's do y'all do a split? Is it a upfront cost, or like what does that look like?
Yeah, so the way that we work is we've got a retainer fee and then commission off of sales. So we've got that. We're small in the sense, I'll be completely transparent. We're small in the sense of the way we work with clients. We have worked with a handful of clients. Think of it like hiring a sales team. That's where we work, really, really close within your agency. So that's how we focus.
Do you only do marketing agencies?
So marketing. So generally MarTech, marketing agencies, marketing coaches. We know
Perfect.
that space better than anybody.
Perfect.
So if it's in that AI, lead gen, cold calling, email marketing, all of that stuff, I'll be arrogant here. There's nobody better. Like, we're really, really good at it. We know our stuff within that space.
Cool.
I have
All
a
right,
quick
y'all.
question.
Oh, go ahead.
I know, I always do this. Hi, Scott. Thank you so much for what you shared. This is Alicia. So I just wanted to make sure you were saying with the whole webinar situation,
Hmm.
when you do a webinar, do it on a topic that is a pain point for the niche that we have, right?
Mhm.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily be centered around the service that we're trying to offer them. So for example, right, like say it's Google Business Profile optimization,
Mhm.
right? When we
Little.
do the webinar on that and how it can benefit businesses within that niche, and then the call to action would be, okay, let's get you signed up to get a competitor's analysis or whatever it is. Is that how you're saying you would do the webinar?
Exactly right. So Google Business Profile is one of the best. Okay, I love Google Business Profile, and the reason I love it is so mismanaged and underrated. I got a
Mhm.
Google Business Profile. I set it up in this period of time. I've left it to do no things, and it's doing every company has got a Google Business Profile. Every single one of them could do better. Like it's just the standard. So when it comes to Google Business Profile, that's what you're picking up on. Now the key things when you're thinking of Google Business Profile, and there are better, smarter people on Google Business Profile on this call than I am. But what we're thinking of is what GBP does for the client. Okay, so we're
Right.
looking at better visibility locally. Okay, we're talking about
Right.
reviews. Okay, we're talking about cheaper clicks because it's a cheaper form of marketing. I know that broad marked those types of things that we want
Correct.
to be looking at, and that's what we want to be talking about. Really, really good. So, I'll give you a topic. I'll give you a topic that we did. So we did result. So how X achieved X result for Google Business Profile. Okay, so this would be how X location achieved X number of clients or whatever it would be. So you would give us result, okay, and then you would leave something with the sort of the cliffhanger and the one automation you're not using. ... So this is one that we've used before when it comes to Google Business Profile. Okay, so um, how Jimmy Florists got 500 leads in a month and the one automation that changed everything. Oh, okay. Oh, what's this? What is that? Me, I want to know more about that. How can we do this? And then your webinar is about that section of it, those parts of it. Now, this is a really good question. So the way that we generally do our 3 webinars as well, we try to split on this. So depending on what you're selling, whether you've got one service, you can basically split the one service into key panes and do it on each one. Or if you've got 3 different services, so just say that you sell, you're promoting Google Business Profile, you're doing, I don't know, Facebook ads, and you're doing PPC. Well, we want to talk about all 3 and we use the different topics for each 3. That's what we're looking at.
Right.
Does that help a bit?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I think that helps.
So
Thank you. I was just
whenever
curious to
you
see.
whenever you do these, because like if she's going to go out and do this, how you don't want to make it too simple to where they feel like, oh, I can go do that, because but it's
Yeah.
also their time. And so, Scott, as you've built this or done this or worked with this, do you keep it high level enough? Like you're not trying to keep it in layman's terms, right? Or are you?
Yeah, so we are. So that's a great question. So do you know I told you this webinar that we've just done didn't do as well as we'd like? I can tell you why I think that is. Our previous webinars were about lead generation, Google Business Profile, automations, do you know what I mean? Revenue, all of this. Last webinar, tracking. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and we've got people on, we were testing it, we're trying to see the people on, we've got calls from it, hopefully they're higher value calls, but it doesn't excite the business owner. It
Yeah, there's nothing
genuinely
sexy.
doesn't
Yeah.
excite the business. It's not sexy. Great. Yeah. So we want to be looking for those types of titles. Perfect.
All right. Well, Scott, thank you so much. And well, thanks for letting me know that you're coming to Florida. I'm excited for that. That's super exciting. Look forward to having you. But guys, thanks for joining us. Hope you gained a lot. I know you will be just well served if you connect with Scott, whether it's via email or just on LinkedIn for now. But definitely connect with him. You'll learn a lot. He's an amazing guy in this space. So even if it's not you that can take advantage of it, you know somebody else that can work with Scott, send him Scott's way. I know that he does great work. And so, Scott, thank you.